Hello, everyone. It's Brenda Douglas, your self love and happiness coach, and I help people fall in love with themselves and live a happy and fulfilling life. Before we get started, you know what to do. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel for more ways that you can create happiness, for self love and self care tips, positive thinking techniques, stress remedies, and ways that you can become a better version of yourself. In this video, we are going to take a self-love quiz. So now, what is self-love? Self-love are actions that you take every day to show yourself love. It is taking the time to honor and value yourself. Self love is refusing to tolerate poor treatment or abuse. Self love is taking the time to understand who you are today and then investing in yourself for a better future. Self love must be practiced every single day. So we're going to take a self-love quiz to assess where you are. Okay, but before we get started, let me give you your 3 random acts of kindness and activities and 4 journal prompts. Okay, so your 3 random acts of kindness activities are to buy a warm meal for someone in need. Okay, now some of you may not feel comfortable giving them money, so that's fine. Take them inside a restaurant or what have you and buy them a meal or bring it out to them. Okay, so we're going to buy a warm meal for someone in need. Okay, give Valentine's Day cards. Since Valentine's Day is right around the corner, give Valentine's Day cards and or chocolate to your coworkers. Okay, or bake some cookies, some pink cookies. People may not be into that right now because of COVID and everything, but you can always buy some chocolate or purchase the store bought type of cookies. Okay. Valentine's cookies. Okay, deliberately find opportunities to give compliments. Now, guys, understand that you can give compliments whether you are virtual or whether you're walking down the street or in the store. Give compliments. Find opportunities to give compliments. Now, those are your 3 random acts of kindness. Now, I'm going to give you 4 journal prompts in this video, okay? So the first journal, so go ahead and grab your journals, I'm sorry. And the first journal prompt is for you to make a list of your favorite songs, okay? And then you're gonna explain why it is you like that song, okay? And then your next journal prompt is for you to write a letter to someone you need to forgive. Okay. Your third journal prompt is for you to actually, it is, how would you describe yourself? How would you describe yourself? And then the fourth journal prompt is, how would your best friend or someone you love describe you? Okay. And I like those 2 last questions because sometimes how we see ourselves is not how other people see us. Okay, so let me read those 4 journal prompts to you again, and you can always rewind if you need to. But prompt number 1 is list your favorite songs and why. Write a letter to someone you need to forgive. Now let me stop right there for a second. With this letter, you can either give it to the person or burn it. Okay, you just want to release it. Okay, so you're going to write a letter to someone you need to forgive. That's prompt number 2. Prompt number 3, how would you describe yourself? And prompt number 4, how would your best friend or a loved one describe you? Okay. Okay, now on to this self-love quiz. Some of you may be asking, well, why are we even taking a self-love quiz? Well, listen, life happens, okay? And you are ever changing, and so are things around you, okay? Trust me, you're not the same person that you were 5 or 10 years ago, okay? You are constantly evolving, especially if you're striving to become a better version of yourself. And like I said, life happens. Things come at you. People say things to upset you. You know, you have connections, good and bad. Before you start to detox those people from your life. And so life happens, okay? And so we are going to do an assessment because it will help you to understand who you are today. And it will show you whether or not you're on track or whether or not you need improvement. Okay, it will also expose areas where you need to work. And then, last but not least, it will motivate you to be more conscious about your behavior on a daily basis. Okay, so it will motivate you to monitor whether or not this is self love or whether or not you're deviating. Okay, and then you can put yourself back on track. Okay, so without further ado, let's take the self love quiz. Okay, so I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to number it from 1 to 15. Okay, now as I read these questions, you are going to answer yes or no. Okay, you're going to answer yes or no, simple yes or no. Okay, question number 1: when you look in the mirror, do you immediately notice the flaws about your appearance, your bodies, or about you, your qualities, rather than seeing the real beauty of everything about you? Question number 2: when someone gives you a compliment, do you have a hard time accepting it, or do you minimize the compliment? And what I mean by that is when you're like, somebody's like, oh, that's a pretty dress. You immediately start saying, oh, this old thing, or I got that on sale. Girl, I can't even fit this thing. Like you immediately minimize the compliment instead of saying thank you. When someone gives you a compliment, do you have a hard time accepting it or minimize the compliment? When you make mistakes, do you beat yourself up or have a hard time letting it go? In other words, you make a mistake and then you're like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I say that? And then you keep playing it over and over again in your mind. Okay, when you make mistakes, do you beat yourself up? Have a hard time letting it go. Some of you may even call yourself names. That was stupid. Why would I do that? Do you beat yourself up or do you have a hard time letting it go? Yes or no answers. Number 4, when you speak up for yourself, do you feel guilty afterwards? So let's say you disagree with something, or you feel like somebody's mistreating you or taking advantage of you, okay? And so you speak up. Do you feel guilty? You feel like, I shouldn't have said that. I probably shouldn't have said that. When you speak up for yourself, do you feel guilty afterwards? Question number 5, do you feel bad or guilty about taking time for yourself when you know some things need to be done? Do you feel bad or guilty about taking time for yourself when you know some things need to be done? So let's say you want to go and get your nails done. You just want to time out from the kids, time out from the husband, everything. You just want to go and get your nails done. And so while you're sitting there at the nail salon, you're thinking, I got that laundry to do. Oh man, the kids probably miss me. Like you're not in the moment, okay? Instead, you're feeling bad and you're feeling guilty for taking time for yourself. Some of you may even call the house to check on them, okay? So do you feel bad or guilty, like I shouldn't have done that? I should not have done that knowing I had this laundry to do. Do you feel bad or guilty about taking the time for yourself when you know some things need to be done? Question number 6, do you consider yourself a failure just because you have not achieved a certain level of success? So perhaps you don't have a degree. Perhaps you're still working towards your degree, okay? And so you consider yourself a failure because you see people your same age, they have degrees, they're successful, they're doing great things, okay? They have several homes and you don't have a home at all. Do you consider yourself a failure just because you have not achieved a certain level of success? Number 7, when you feel stressed, do you turn to self-destructive behaviors such as alcohol, drugs, overeating, or smoking? When you feel stressed or overwhelmed, Do you turn to self-destructive behaviors and habits such as alcohol, drugs, overheating, overeating, or smoking? Question number 8. Do you neglect your health by not going to the doctor or the dentist when you need to? Do you neglect your health? Do you refuse to go to your annual physicals? Do you neglect your health by not going to the doctor or the dentist when you need to? That tooth is hurting you so bad, and yet you refuse to go to the dentist. Do you neglect your health by not going to the doctor or the dentist when you need to? Number 9. When someone criticizes you or points out something that you can do better, are you quick to defend yourself, or do you fall apart like the world is coming to an end? When someone criticizes you or points out something that you can do better, you are quick to defend yourself, or do you fall apart like the world is coming to an end? Remember, these are yes or no answers. That's it. That's all. No in between, no maybe, yes or no. Number 10. Are you comfortable with who you are? Are you comfortable with who you are, or do you constantly compare yourself to other people? Do you constantly compare yourself to other people? Are you comfortable with who you are? Number 11. Are you afraid to be alone with yourself without something to do or someone around? So like this weekend, you know, some of us are still, actually most of us are still quarantined, or we still have to be safe. Okay, and yet, you know, you're not dating anyone, and yet you're like, I really don't want to be by myself. I wish there was a party that I can go, like you're dreading it. Are you afraid to be alone with yourself without something to do or someone around? Yes or no answer. Number 12. Do you have a hard time setting boundaries and allow people to walk over you? Do you have a hard time saying no? Do you have a hard time saying, I'm not comfortable with the way you talk to me? Do you have a hard time setting boundaries and allow people to walk over you? Number 13. When you have to make a decision, do you rely on friends and family members to tell you what to do instead of trusting yourself and your inner guidance? When you have to make a decision, do you rely on friends and family? In other words, you will not make a decision without consulting with friends and family to tell you what to do instead of trusting yourself. Now, I'm not talking about asking for their opinions. I'm talking about you will not make the decision until you consult with them, and even then, you know, you rely on them and you to tell you what to do instead of you listening to them and then trying to make the decision. In other words, when you have to make a decision, I don't know if I did that right. When you have to make a decision, do you rely on friends and family to tell you what to do instead of trusting yourself to make the decision? Yes or no? Do you have a hard time making decisions when it comes to what you want and what you like? So your friend asks you, what do you want for dinner? And you can't decide. Where do you want to go? And you can't decide. You know what you like. Do you have a hard time making decisions when it comes to what you want and what you like? Number 15. When you are asked to do something when you are asked to do something you don't want to do you say yes anyway because you feel bad about turning them down? So let's say you have to study for a test and someone invites you to a party. I know we're quarantined, so I know that you guys are social distancing and being safe, but this is an example. Okay, and they ask you to come to a party or to bake something, bring something for a party, let's say. and you know you have to study, but you don't want to say no. You have a hard time saying no. These are people pleasers. When you are asked to do something you don't want to do you say yes because you feel bad turning them down? Some of you may even feel like they need you, so you have to do it. Okay? When you are asked to do something you don't want to do you say yes anyway because you feel bad about turning them down? Some of you overcommit because you have a hard time saying no. If that is you, again, the answers are yes and no. Okay, so if you guys need to stop right here, you can pause the video and go ahead and rewind and catch any answers that you may have missed. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and move forward. What I want you to do is I want you to give yourself 1 point for every 1 point for every yes. Okay? Did I get that right? 1 point for every yes. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the answers. Okay? If you answered yes to 3 questions or less, good job. You are doing a great job at loving yourself and listening and honoring who you are. Okay, keep up the good work because you are worth it. So again, 3 questions or less, you are on the right track. Okay. If you answered yes to 4 or 7 questions, you're on your way to self-love. Okay. It sounds like you're asserting yourself in some areas and listening to what your inner voice is saying. But you need to keep working on some areas, okay? If you answered 8 or 10 questions, yes. If your answer to 8 to 10 questions was yes, you have more work to do, okay? But practice makes perfect, guys. And you have to take baby steps. You have to do this again on the daily basis, okay? So you have to continue to remind yourself that you are worth it, okay? You have to continue to remind yourself that you can do this, okay? But you're going to have to work at it every single day, okay? So if you answered yes to 8 to 10 questions, you have your work to do, okay? Excuse me. And lastly, if you answered yes to 11 to 15 questions, you absolutely must prioritize self-love, okay? You're wonderful, but you must take better care of yourself. You must set boundaries, okay? And what you want to do is you want to practice at it every single day. I do have a video, actually I'm working on a video on ways that you can practice self-love, but you absolutely must prioritize self-love, okay? And you also need to notice when you are being critical of yourself. You need to listen to your self-talk and make sure that it is positive. Turn it to positive if it becomes negative, okay? Listen, you deserve to be treated like a designer original, okay? You are that. You are worth it, okay? And it all starts with you, okay? It all starts with you being gentle with yourself, being patient with yourself, and then practicing self-care. And listen, sometimes you have to make hard decisions, but you are so worth it, okay? So listen, no matter where you were on the spectrum, I want to encourage you to practice self-love every single day, okay? Because as you come to love yourself, you can teach other people how to love you, and you can live life to the fullest, okay? Listen, I hope that this video has been helpful to you. If so, go ahead and like this video. And listen, love begins with you, okay? And life doesn't have to be perfect to be filled with happiness, okay? Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Brenda Douglas, your self-love and your happiness coach, reminding you to always strive for excellence without apology or permission. Thank you so much for watching.